I'm going to smile. Get that big cheesy smile. Go.
Hi, everybody. Tim Hughes here. I'm the CEO and co-founder of DLA Ignite. Got with me today Mike O'Connor. Mike, if you didn't know, runs something called the Service Professional Network, or SPN. And we're going to talk about that today. And we're going to talk about Mike's journey, but we're also going to talk about the benefits of SPN and why I'm on it, why Mike's set it up, etc. Before we get in and talk about anything, Mike, first and foremost, where can people find you on the internet?
Well, I'm all over the internet. I'm pretty much on every major social media platform to some degree. My biggest platform that I spend the most time on and probably have the largest range would be, of course, LinkedIn. I'm all over LinkedIn. You can find me underneath Service Professionals Network. That's my vanity URL. Or you can just type in Mike SPN, Mike O'Connor. Either one of those should work. Thanks to reading your book, I have Michael and Mike in my name on LinkedIn. And you know what?
So, because some people watching this English may be their second language, Mike is Mike, and then it's Oconnor. So son of Connor.
Yes, sir.
Celtic.
So many people do the ER, but it's actually OR.
It's OR. I always check the spelling. Yeah. So before we get into why you set up Service Professional Network, explain to people what it is.
Well, it's a social media site. It's built off of a WordPress platform, so it's pretty easy to use and pretty easy to navigate. There are some things with speed and user experience I'm hoping to improve along the lines. You're one of the first users. In fact, most of the first users are smart people like you that do search engine optimization, digital marketing. It's a great place to share your links for your blogs, your YouTube videos. And it's a great place for two reasons. One of which it does help with search engine rankings and getting a little bit more visibility from the search engines. Two, it helps people like you and I that are so busy on our LinkedIn platforms and Twitter platforms and have so much going on in our feeds. It helps us see other things that we're sharing with each other without getting lost in the.
So one of the things that you've done is you've built this social network.
Yep. On LinkedIn, it's really big. That's where my biggest range is. About 30,000 people have SPN in their name or in their summary. So if you do like a search on LinkedIn for the hashtag SPN and you click over onto the people tab, you'll see hundreds, thousands of people that actually have the acronym for Service Professionals Network in their name on LinkedIn. Lion is actually one of the things that got me started. You used to see the Lion acronym all over LinkedIn.
Which was LinkedIn Open Networking person.
Yeah. It was basically, if you see Lion in somebody's name, they would basically says, I take everybody as a connection, right? No matter who you are, if you don't even need a pulse, you could be a bot. I'm going to connect your invite 100%. So it's safe to send me an invite. With SPN, when I first originally started to do this, I had a few causes behind it. I was trying to support a charity and a few other non-for-profits that we were doing at the time. So I wanted to make sure that I got a lot of the scammers and everybody else out of that Lion group, because I like the concept of open networking. I mean, that's the whole reason why we're on social media, so that way we can all grow our audience, be seen, connect with like-minded people. Well, for me, I've always been people and first. I'm more of a romantic by nature than business. I do business because this guy, he's a jerk. His name's Bill. He comes by every month. He wants money from me. He tells me I got to get a job. I got to stop looking at you and got to look at the camera. MJ Plebon is one of my connections. He's going to be so mad at me. He's like, Mike's not looking at the camera. Look, focus my eyes now. I'm actually, I would never make it on the news. It feels so awkward to me. Sorry. So what I'm saying is, SPN originally was a networking group on LinkedIn. And from there, I actually had to get on Facebook because other people were taking the SPN acronym and actually calling their Facebook group Service Professionals Network. So then I was like, well, I got to make the Service Professionals Network group on Facebook. So I contacted them, took over that group and put SPN. And then now people are sharing entertainment stuff more so on Facebook, not so much in the group, but they're connecting as friends on that group and then sharing amongst each other. So it's still like a way to meet people, I guess. And then in the LinkedIn group, It's going pretty good. It's almost 7,000 connections. I weed out quite a few people. I mean, if somebody's in there, selling some stuff I don't like or being mean to people, they get out pretty quickly. And I actually probably remove 1 or 2 people a week, so it's not a big deal, But it's a simple concept, following the golden rule, treating other people the way you want to be treated. We're all adults and we all got things to do, in life and bills to pay, right? So it shouldn't be that hard of a concept. And when I first got into networking as a business, sure, I want to make money. I want to take care of that jerk named Bill. But, the big thing is you only get one life, right? You only get to do things one particular time. And you can't, the U-Haul truck is never behind the hearse. You never take anything with you. So I've always felt to myself, you only get so much integrity, and that's like the only thing you can take with you unless you lose it along the way somewhere here, right? So, and I'm not trying to sound pompous or, make myself something that I'm not, because I'm very not perfect. I mess up all the time. And some people are like, Mike, how come you told that guy to go jump off a, short pier, with a long walk? And it's like, well, we're all human, right? We all have good days and bad days. And I recognize that. So like, if you get in a tiff with somebody online, it's not like I'm going to kick you out of Service Professionals Network because you don't meet the ideals. Usually if I tell somebody, you're out of SPN, it's multiple days, multiple occasions. We've had to talk to it. You know what I mean? The group and the network is really, and this because you're one of the biggest users on the group, but thank God, because like you're all the credibility I need. The idea is that we can share our things in our marketing and get our business out there without being obnoxious about it, without being like in your face, hey, thanks for connecting with me, let's make a sale. And what I try to do, and I do a lot of this for free, and some of the people that I work with, they actually pay me. They sell a lot of the services that I provide for free. And that's great because they give people that, attention to detail I'm not giving them. It's one thing to put the information out there and to put the system out there. It's another thing to walk people through it. You know what I mean? Like anybody can go play basketball or soccer, right? But why do you have coaches? Because, it's just kind of the way I look at things. It just depends on how much time you want to spend figuring things out, right?
And I think, what I find about LinkedIn is that it's a big thing. Think about big football stadium or something like that in terms of and it can be very noisy. But with SBN, what you're getting is it's like your local pub or your something where you can go to where you actually know the people, and it's more small and manageable. Tends to be what I would call mid-market companies on there, SME, small medium enterprise type companies. But it's those people having that sort of interest, and there's a certain amount of people will do things to help each other, and then we'll help each other back, and you see that going on. There's a reciprocity going on.
I think I wish I could afford to hire you as a PR guy. I've been explaining this crap to people for years, and I'm like a local par, like where everybody knows your name. Cheers. I'm like, oh, what's up?
It's free. It's free, Mike. It's free. Take it, please.
Yeah, but that's the gist of it right there. Is like, look, anybody can do it, and so many people like think that I'm all about SBN and my brand, and I am, right? But it's not like if you were to make a social media site, right, and use the same back end that I did, right? What do you think the chances of me joining your site would be? I'd be there in a second. I'd be the first guy.
Right.
You'd be surprised. And it's one of the things I tell people too is, you remember when we were growing up, I don't want to date ourselves, right? But bumper stickers were really big. Yeah, me too. My shirt's 35. But we grew up in that age where if you had a band or if you had a local business, there was no internet. You had to put your sticker everywhere, right? So actually my first business, I was 13 years old. My brother and I printed up a bunch of flyers and we handed them out to all the mailboxes, and we had a landscaping business, 130 yards when I went through high school, all throughout the whole time. But so I've always been into marketing and getting the word out there, right? Same things with the internet. The more places you can put your name, your address, your phone number, your YouTube videos, your chat. I mean, I'm going to put this video everywhere, everybody look at my bad hair.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, that's the whole idea. And so many people are like, it's too much work. It's too much this. It takes too much that, right? It's not automated. I can't just go post on your SBN site without, having it automatically go to LinkedIn or YouTube. But, at the same time, it's the same people that call me over and over again that are asking me, why should I join your site? They're also asking me how to get views on LinkedIn. You know what I mean? Or Twitter, right? And I might not hit everything that hits my feed, but I try, like if you post a blog or something like that, I try to tweet it, or I have somebody tweet it, or I'm like, hey, can you share this for this dude and tag me in it? I mean, it works, I mean, and so many people spend so much time, energy, and effort to make their content that I figure you might as well have people try to see it,
One of the things that you said to me when we did the prep for this was that, and this resonated with me, that there's too many people think about monetizing rather than just doing it.
It's unbelievable. I tell people all the time, and a few of my friends, and again, I don't want to sound like pompous, right? Have really changed their lives with simple LinkedIn marketing, and for years, they got 108 connections on LinkedIn, right? They only use it for their resume. They're afraid of what their bosses may think about what they post or what they like, right? A few of them. One of them just, she had a really good job. She's an assistant in a big company. It's a worldwide company, right? She's one of tens of thousands of people who work in this big company, right? She was worried her boss and his boss and their boss were going to, see her link. Well, less than a year later, minimal engagement. She went from like 100 connections to 8,000, right? She got a raise from one position to the next based off her LinkedIn visibility. Almost half her salary increase. You go from 45 to 70,000 a year just because you have 8,000 followers on LinkedIn. I mean, to me, that's nuts, right? You go to school, you go to college, you go to all this stuff, you learn all these trades and skills, right? To make 45 grand a year, and then you bump it up to 70 because you can get a few extra likes on LinkedIn. Yeah. To me, it's just like, why wouldn't anybody do this? Why wouldn't you try to figure out how to be LinkedIn? I tell so many of my friends that it doesn't matter what you're trying to do, right? Build your professional network, build your personal brand, because you're always going to be Tim Hughes. I'm always going to be Michael Connor, as sad as that may be, right? I'm always going to be me.
We'll be sitting here in 2030. But the thing is that a lot of people say to me, yeah, but it's like an awful lot of work. Yes, but you put the work in and then it's done. And then you've got it, you can, well, you do want to change it because you will change, but your personal brand and who you are and your network, it's you've got it for life.
Well, one thing that people don't understand, right? And people ask me, Mike, why are you so out there? How come you do these podcasts? You always look like a hot mess, right? I'm like, people know I'm a hot mess. I'm not going to come over here and be anything I'm not, right? I comb my hair and it looks all great. 2 minutes later, I do that. It's just the way I am. And people are like, why are you so out there, right? Well, some jerk, I almost swore, said authenticity is a big word, right? And that was really big a few years ago. Everybody was saying it, and then they said influencer over and over again. Now you don't hear people talk about influencer anymore because everyone's like, oh, that word's bad. They beat it to death, right? One of the words that they were beating to death a few years ago was be authentic. Well, I was the one idiot, I think, that was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to tell people exactly who I am all the time and just be this guy, right? And I'm obnoxious. I have a little bit on the manic side. I always have a lot of energy, right? And I don't have any filter. I mean, I'm surprised I haven't said anything too terribly offensive here. You ask me a question, 18 different noodle trails later. My point, which I am making one, is I went to a charity event / networking event. It was all C-level executives, right? It was $10,000 a seat. Right. I was helping my plumber buddy in downtown Chicago that day because I work from home. My plumber buddy's like, Mike, I need somebody to help move a toilet. I'm covered in poop, Tim. I smell really, 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 really bad, right? And my buddy, a couple of years ago, calls me up and says, Mike, thanks for helping with my charity all the time. My buddy was supposed to be here. One of our executives at this not-for-profit was supposed to be at this event in Chicago. He got a flat tire. He's stuck in Iowa on the highway. Yeah. Can you go and make an appearance for us? I'm like, well, I happen to be a block away, but I'm covered in poop. He's like, it's okay. just go. So I'm like, all right. And, it's like, honestly, it's one of my first networking events. I've only been on LinkedIn that point for a year. I was at like just around 28,000 connections or so. They didn't tell me it was $10,000 a plate in this big swanky place. It was on the Gold Coast, so I should have known. So I pull up in my Ford Taurus. I got my tape on my window to keep my window up. I get out looking like a $3 sandwich. I walk in this place. Everybody's got suits and ties, $10,000 Rolexes. And you know what happened as soon as I walked in that place? The room goes silent. And everyone's like, there's that O'Connor guy, the ESPN guy, the LinkedIn guy, blah, 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 blah. It was weird. It was like I was a celebrity. And like, being a LinkedIn celebrity and $3 might get you a number 2 at McDonald's, you know what I mean? But to me, that was the first time where it was really eye-opening. Like, wow, people are paying attention. And it's not just like the people at the local pub. I mean, these people have jobs. They're leaders in the business world, and they're giving me respect. So you know what I did, right? I go there and chastise them all because I sat there and listened to a bunch of crap. And I wound up telling them it was a bunch of crap. When you were on some podcast, I guess, and some guy asked you a question, you gave them the truth, and they're shocked you gave them the truth. Don't ask the question. Yeah. And these guys, I won't go into who they were, but they were talking about where marketing was and where it was going. And I completely disagreed because they're talking about how you can't do branding online at the time. They were telling us, LinkedIn's just for resumes. You'll never be able to do this. You'll never be able to do that. And it's funny. All these years later, I'm like, some of these people are actually hiring people like me now to build their brand.
Yeah. So you were involved in, you also been involved in some non-for-profit stuff, haven't you?
Yeah,
and stuff.
Well, when I first got onto LinkedIn, I was married, and at the time, I was involved with an orphanage in Guinea. Right. And we since got divorced, handed it off to the church, and since then, we have been focusing on quicker fundraisers for more important things, like not like kids that are in orphanage aren't important, but like life or death emergencies. So last year, we raised $25,000 through LinkedIn on GoFundMe for Rachel LaRue, who needed breast explant surgery because she had breast implants and they were giving her cancer. She was dying. She was like, I saw her in person a few times. She had skin falling off of her. She was like turning green. I mean, she was on death's door. And she had to have the surgery scheduled, if I believe correctly, like a certain date in January. And we had to have the money lined up to secure this date for the surgery by like the last day of December. And we got the funds within like 2 days to spare.
Right.
So, I mean, if I go through the rest of my life with this SPN stuff, right, and I barely scrape by and barely make a living, that right there on my dying deathbed will be one of the things I think about.
It's a legacy.
What she's doing now is she's out, talking about breast cancer and stuff like that coming from these implants. She's raised a lot of awareness. Since that fundraiser, I've had 3 people contact me directly through LinkedIn, either pick up the phone or sending me messages. One was a guy and the other 2 were women. All 3 of them, the guy's wife was very ill. She was like dying. Nobody could figure it out, right? He sees my fundraiser, goes to the doctor, it's like, hey, my wife has, breast implants. Could this be it? She just had hers taken out almost a year after Rachel's, about 2 months ago, and she's on the road to recovery.
Fantastic.
So, I mean, right there, that's 4 people I know of that have had their breasts taken out and, have life-saving surgery just from stupid networking on LinkedIn. How crazy is that?
Amazing. So question for you, Mike. Someone sends you a connection request and they send you a sales pitch straight away. What do you think?
You know what? You may not believe this, but I'm kind of cantankerous and I like to have a good time. So it really just depends on what it is. Yeah. But I'm also in sales, right? I never send the sales pitch to anybody. I don't know if I've ever tried to sell you anything. I don't try to sell anybody, right? But as soon as you open that door, sucker, I'm walking through, right? So a lot of times somebody's like, hey, Mike, check out my widgets or check out my gadget or check out my LinkedIn training. I'm like, oh, that's fantastic, Tim. That looks like something I would totally use. In fact, I know a lot of people that might like that. They're on SPN. So if you go make an account on serviceprofessionalsnetwork.com and you just copy and paste all that stuff you just sent me there, chances are maybe somebody, at least one person, will like it. And you know what's funny? Of all those people that do that, I get like 1% that go and make an account, right?
Right.
One guy did it too. I almost crap myself. I don't know if I can say crap on your show, but this guy, for 2 weeks, he's sending me these sales pitch messages over and over again. And then he starts commenting on my post, man, right? He's like, Mike, I sent you a message. You never responded to it. I hate that. I mean, first of all, I've done public apologies. I do accountability. It's part of my charm. It's part of the reason why people put up with all my weirdness, right? Is that, I own it, when I step in it. I tell people, hey, listen, I'm not perfect. This is what I'm doing, right? So this guy calls me out, and I'm like, dude, don't call me out about this. Your lousy sales pitch. You suck. You suck at life. You should take my advice. Totally not my kindest moment, right? Golden rule went out the window there for about 35 seconds. That dude signed up for my account, for the website, and like 7 minutes later. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, well, I guess I got to turn around and be like, thanks for joining us, SPN. Really great guy. Turns out he's a really, really great guy. He just had no clue how to approach people online. Like, he's like that 21-year-old guy that walks in the bar for the first time, and you see like real women, and like women that have been there, paid their bills, had kids. Like, they don't get time for no kid. Like 21, feeling like you're a man. No, you're a boy. Go walk around the block a few times, come back with a little bit of experience. You know what I mean? That's kind of like, and I'm not the oldest dude. I'm 40 years old, right? I still use dude, so I feel like I'm hanging on dear life to my youth, right? Yeah. When I get these young folks on there and they're 21, 22, and they're learning, and a guy like me is helping them figure it out, that's great. I don't even care that kid's going to go make $1 million, and he'll probably have to hire me in 3 years. I don't care. I hope he does. That's like the power of it, and I like people that are out there like that. I didn't like the fact that he came out and commented on my posts, and I wasn't totally rude, but I was stern with him, right? But then he comes back, he signs up for my site, and he does what I asked him to do, right? That to me is like a win-win, because he's trying to meet me halfway. So many people don't try to meet you halfway. They want that instant gratification. It's like, hey, Tim, we're connected now. Can you have me on your show? Put me on front.
Buy something.
Huh? Yeah, right away. And I found the more you give and the less you ask for, the more people want to help you.
Right.
And I think that's part of the reason why we're good friends. I read your book, right?
Thank you.
I liked your book. I think I actually read through it a few times, good for me. Anyway, but I didn't I think I did the book review, right?
You did.
But I didn't, hound you on Twitter or LinkedIn about it, right? I think somebody actually else probably brought it to your attention more than I did.
Yeah. I didn't even know about it. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I didn't beat you down. I just liked the book. I figured if somebody buys it through my Amazon link, or they go through my Amazon link and I make an extra 10 cents, cool. I'm like, guy's got 160 million followers on Twitter. I'm like, maybe he'll retweet it. Maybe he won't. I don't care. And, and it worked out. We wound up being friendly, wound up being nice. And you know what? To this day, you and a few other people I've read their books on, I follow all you guys. We chat online, and I watch you all the time. If you people watching this show think I'm obnoxious now, you have no idea what I was like before the influence of Tim Hughes.
So I was talking to Darryl Griffin from Australia.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know Kate Lister. Kate is she's a florist in Grimsby in the UK, which is a place way up north. And she has a 5-to-1 rule. So she sells flowers over LinkedIn. Yeah. One of the things that she does, she has a local shop, but and she's an absolutely brilliant LinkedIn person. She calls it Linkty Dinks. But she has this 5-to-1 rule, which is that if you post once, you need to comment on at least 5 other things. It can be more than 5. It can be 6.
I'm feeling that, Tim.
Sorry?
I'm stealing that.
Yeah, well, I knew you'd like that.
I do.
Well, I asked her yesterday if we could steal it, and I'll find the post again, and I'm going to tag you in it because she's written this post about how to use LinkedIn. Now, she's no LinkedIn. This is not a LinkedIn expert. This is not a LinkedIn guru. This is a florist from Grimsby, and I don't mean that in a demeaning way. I mean it. This is
what it is.
Yeah, this is and what she's done is that she's worked out how to use it. Nothing special. No, this is how you manipulate the algorithms. It's not about that. It's about if you want to get something, you got to give something as well.
Well, and so many people don't realize there's a lot of things that you get when you make a like or a comment, right?
Yeah.
A big part of the way I grew my network was just liking everything that I actually liked many times a day. And with your phone, I mean, you can do it while you poop. Sorry, I had to do it.
You can.
But you literally just sit there, scroll and poop all at the same time. And people are like, you know, they don't know you're pooping, Tim. They just know that you're liking their content.
You'll find it's about between 10 and 11 o'clock when there's most activity on LinkedIn, regardless of what time zone it is, because it's the same, you know, wherever you are. But it's that kind of sort of like for every single time zone, isn't it? It's true.
You can see when people go to the bathroom by how much stuff they're liking on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
He's not commenting, but he liked 8 things in a row. He's going to the loo.
Yeah.
That's the English word, right? Loo? I don't know.
Yeah, loo. Yeah, loo. Yeah.
We don't say that in America. All my American friends.
It's like washrooms. Or when I'm in the States, it's like I always get confused. What do you call it? The bathroom or washrooms? I don't know. It's like
it depends on where you're going. Same thing with soda, pop. You know, carbonated beverage. Nobody calls it that. But you know, I found business owners and people that aren't the LinkedIn gurus and trainers. You know, if we cut through all their crap, they came up with 95% of the things that you should do.
Yeah.
And all the trainers and all the gurus, we all steal everything from them. You know, and I'm no trainer or guru, but you know, that's where you learn. It's from the business owners that are like, how can I make the most use of my time and get the most reward for my business, right? All these clueless people are like, how do I get a job? Or how do I convince people I'm a LinkedIn trainer? They're not the ones that are coming up with the systems and the ideas of how to do time management and all that. It's the little shop owner that's like, I have to sell 48 batches of flowers today. Otherwise, I can't pay my rent. But I really want to be on LinkedIn so I can learn a few things and build my brand. I mean, that's innovation. You know what I mean? You know, and she probably sells flowers from LinkedIn. What people don't realize is you can sell anything on LinkedIn. Somebody actually, a few people all the time, you know, I mean, it's with my personality and the way I'm just kind of blunt, right? People are like, this guy never sells anything on LinkedIn, right? I raised like $750,000 for non-for-profits off of LinkedIn, right? I've sold businesses that I didn't even understand on LinkedIn, right? Sold a business. I sold a tax agency. I don't know anything about taxes. I barely pay my own taxes. The accountant says, hey, Mike, you owe this much money. I go, damn. You know, sold the business on LinkedIn, right? I've sold shoes. I've sold hair stuff. Monet. I got out of the Monet thing for a while.
I think I heard it.
You know what? They do have hair growth stuff that's licensed in the UK. And I make money on LinkedIn. I didn't come on here to, this is what we're talking about. We come on here to sell Monet.
My business partner and I met a guy in Canada. And he said, I don't believe LinkedIn. I don't think it works. And we said, okay, right. So then he turned around and said, actually, now you remind me, I actually sold one of my Lamborghinis on LinkedIn.
How do people like that have a Lamborghini and I'm living up my mom's house?
He had basically he had a load of cars and that you could rent them out, you know, at the weekends and stuff. But he put a picture of it and he said, I'm actually selling this. And the bloke contacted him within like an hour and said, I'll buy it. So I mean, I don't think it should be like an eBay, but you know, you can sell stuff over LinkedIn.
Well, here's the thing though. You can't even treat it like an eBay. I even go that far to say that, depending on how you do it. Okay. It's kind of like the 5-to-1 rule, right? So you make a post, you go like 5, 6 things, right? Yeah. If I want to sell shoes or I want to sell Monet hairspray, right? No, I haven't done the Monet thing in a while just because of time consumption and ROI and all that, right? And I'm not big into hair stuff. You know why I actually got into it? Because I figured most girls have hair, and I could be like at the bar, I'd be like, hey, nice hair. Is that Monet? You know what? That's what they all do.
Yeah, moving on.
So anyway, my point is, it's like the 5-to-1 rule, the comments and the engagement, right? You can make a post about Monet or shoes or whatever it is that you're trying to sell, and you can just put that little eBay image or the Amazon book review, right there in your LinkedIn feed. But you can't do it with every single post.
No.
If you do one advertisement post, you have to have 6 humorous posts, right? And I've also found that if you're joking about things, that it goes really well, and you can disguise whatever it is you're selling in the joke.
Yeah.
So if I am a fat 40-year-old dude and I'm making posts about hairspray, people loved it, because I'm telling people I'm the Monet supermodel, right? And the biggest reason why I did it was because I'm an SEO geek and I did keyword research on Monet and hair products for another client, and I saw an opportunity. So I signed up for Monet. I wrote a blog about it, put it on the Service Professionals Network, right? You've probably been on the site thousands of times, right? You probably never even seen that blog, right? It's one of my top producing traffic pages from the internet that brings me traffic. Like some of the search terms for Monet have 31,000 hits a month on Google.
Wow.
And my website's in the top 10 on those results. And they get hundreds and hundreds of thousands of clicks a month. And on like 50 different terms, SPN's in the top 10. So I'm getting a couple thousand people a month now from Google onto the SPN site. And I don't have to talk about Monet. I don't care if I ever sell Monet hairspray or anything, because all the pages link together, go back to you guys, and it's worth it. So that's one thing I love about the internet. It all ties together.
Mike, we've been talking for 30 minutes, but thank you so much for your time today. It's been fantastic listening to you about understanding how you set up SPN, the benefits of it, and your views on the current state of social media. And I'm glad you've got pants on today.
Well, you don't know. I haven't stood up yet. I'm not going to. I got to start doing some more squats.
Yeah.
Feel a bit more comfortable. Then I'll stand up showing my pants.
Okay.
I appreciate it. You know what? I got the swearing down. Good to go.
Good. Mike, it's been great to talk to you. I'll get this up and then you can distribute it.
I'm sorry?
I'll get this up and then you can distribute it.
Oh, I definitely will. I will. I like to get people up. Why have a train wreck speech if nobody sees it?
Yeah. Cheers, Mike. Thank you.
Cheers.